Hello, Gene Schwimmer here. Welcome to today's vlog, which is going to be a short one because it's blazing hot out here in Tennessee. That's factor number one, but factor number two, my air conditioning is not working. It is very hot inside too. However hot it is outside, it's hot inside. I'm going to make a short video just so I can get to see everybody today, because that's more important than keeping cool, to at least say hi to everybody, give a short little talk, and then I'm out of here and I'm off to the Barnes & Noble Cafe to enjoy the air conditioning there. But fear not, air conditioning repair guy is supposed to come tomorrow. I hope he's able to fix the air conditioner and then everything will be back to normal. But you can probably see him very hot. Anyways, I'm going to talk about China today and two aspects of China: the tariff problem, well, the stealing intellectual property and forced technology problem that we are having with China, but also the events in Hong Kong. If you're following the news, which I assume if you're astute enough to watch my videos, you're also watching the news, following the news. Hong Kong protesters have shut down the Hong Kong airport, the 8th busiest airport in the world, by the way, for the second day in a row. Trump tweeted that Chinese troops are now massing on the border of Hong Kong. So let's hope we don't have a Tiananmen Square situation again. I'm hopeful that we won't, because unlike that event all those years ago, today you have people with cell phones, you have the internet, you have the ability to record video. The news is going to get out there of whatever China does, and the whole world is watching. China is trying to become a world power, not just in terms of military strength, but in establishing relationships with countries around the world, which has to include democracies. Obviously, democracies potentially could have a big problem dealing with China, depending on how they handle Hong Kong. But one issue related to Hong Kong is, what do we do? Or more important, what does Trump say? Because on the one hand, well, he doesn't want to be seen as insulting the Chinese by coming out in support of the protesters in Hong Kong, but he can't just say nothing. So if you're listening, Donald Trump, and if you're not, I don't know why you're not, you should. You watch Fox News, you should watch me. Okay? So that's my suggestion. You don't have to take it, but that's my suggestion. Anyways, getting back to what Trump should say about China, he should say that this is a test for the hoped for resolution of the trade problems between China and the United States, the efficacy of any agreement that is reached. Because remember, we had an agreement. China had agreed to points that we raised. A deal looked like it was done, and then the deal fell apart when the Chinese reneged. Now, the reason the deal fell through was because the United States insisted on some kind of enforcement mechanism to guarantee that China would live up to whatever agreement they made, because China has in the past reneged on deals. Well, not deals, but just promises. They say they're going to do something and then they don't do it. So we wanted an enforcement mechanism. Now the Chinese, they don't want to put in an enforcement mechanism, which tells me that they have no more intention than they have had in the past to live up to an agreement that they make. But if China is sincere about living up to the deal, or if they want us to believe that they are sincere without having an enforcement mechanism, if we are supposed to just take their word for it, if we are supposed to trust them, then the obvious example is Hong Kong, where China agreed on one country, two systems. What that means to me is that China agreed that after Britain handed Hong Kong back to China, that Hong Kong would continue to run its own affairs exactly as they had been running their own affairs before the handover, when they were still under British rule. But it's obvious, and this is the whole reason for these demonstrations, that China wants to renege on that agreement. So what Trump should say, okay, well, you want us to trust you, show us in Hong Kong. Show us that you are going to live up to your promise of one country, two systems, and just withdraw this extradition law that the local chosen by China leadership was, well, they had passed it, now they suspended it, but they did not withdraw the law, and that is the main point of these demonstrations. But a bigger point is that Hong Kong wants to be free. They want to elect their leadership, and they want to operate as a democracy, one country, two systems, which to me is, again, one country technically, but for all practical purposes, two separate countries. So that's what Trump should say, because it's a way of putting pressure on China, but it's also a sort of roundabout way for Trump to support the Hong Kong protesters without openly saying that he supports the Hong Kong protesters. That's my advice for Trump, and that's my rant for today. So, as I said, it is really hot in here. I'm heading out, but I first want to say thumbs up if you liked the video, and share it with anybody you think could benefit from the video. If you have any comments, there's a comment section below the video. You can also put in there a suggestion for a future topic. You can put in more than one suggestion for more than one future topic. If you have a Twitter account, you can retweet my URLs and invite your followers to retweet and of course to watch the videos. And finally, you can subscribe. That would really be great. And you can also come back and see me again. I would love to see all of you again. So until the next video, hopefully under cooler circumstances, bye.